is telling you to get certified. And when you do, they forget to tell you where to go to search your bids. So getting certified is one half of it. Now that you're certified, let me tell you where to go, where all the action actually is happening. So here's the thing you should know. If you just got your certification in corporate, or you're focusing on corporate projects, you want to go here. What these things are called, RangeMe, Supplier.io, Supplier Gateway, and STARS. These are called vendor management platforms. This is a word you want to adopt into your diction. Vendor management platforms or supplier management platforms. This is a big multi-billion-dollar industry, by the way. And let me tell you some things that most people don't know. You tend to see these when a company that you want to work with, Marcia, let's say that, Marcia, you want to sell your defense products to Walgreens, right? Because it's on store shelves. It's a quick product. I can come in Walgreens and I could get Marcia's self-defense product, her pepper spray or something, right? So she wants to sell to Walgreens. This is a true story. Marcia does self-defense, okay? Marcia, Walgreens is going to tell you, oh, you're a diverse supplier. You want to do business with us? Go set up an account on RangeMe under Walmart, or excuse me, Walgreens. So here's our Walgreens link, our portal. So they're going to send you a diversity portal to Walgreens that lives on RangeMe. So we are used to seeing those links like that. Like we're used to getting those vendor portals. But here's what you might not know. Did you know you could go straight away to RangeMe, Supplier.io, or Supplier Gateway, even without being invited by the company, and you could just go proactively and set up an account? And when you do, it's the difference between I'm on Walmart's pipeline or Walgreens versus I'm on an independent profile and I have access to all the bids. Do y'all understand what I just said? So when you go through Walgreens's door, you just built a profile on Walgreens's site. But when you go on your own and set up a RangeMe account, which we are brokering a partnership with, so don't do it yet because we're getting you guys a good deal, right, Taja? Remember, we're getting them a discount. So if you try to beat us to it, you're going to spend more money than you need to. We're working on a deal with RangeMe. My point is, I just want to educate you. You can go and set up a profile that is a freestanding profile. And the benefit to that is rather than only seeing Walgreens' stuff, you actually can see everyone's stuff, all of their retailers and such, when different bids go out. See that? Does this make sense? Someone come off mute and tell me you're tracking. Are you tracking?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, this is new information. You're welcome. Net new. All right.
This is awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We haven't shared this before, but after having some private consulting sessions where people was like, where do I look for bids? I was like, oh my God, we're not teaching them that part. We need to. So that's the corporate piece. But here's where you look for local and state. Watch this. If you are in the city of Charlotte, now I know a lot of you are not, but the reason I'm mentioning this is because your same city, whether you're in Atlanta, Vanessa Spence, who's in Atlanta, Angel, whether you're in Indianapolis, they all work very similar. Watch this. If you have a city level certification or a state, there's something that's called early bird. There is a link. All you have to do is Google early bird city bids, Atlanta, early bird city bids, Indianapolis. And then if you're in Charlotte, I have the link. I'll send it to you all if you're a Charlotte vendor. This is where you go to find bids. There's so many bids that come to me that I'm just too busy to entertain. Like there's multi-million-dollar coaching bids and stuff that we could handle as QCWIB, but that's not my focus right now. But they're there. Do you know I just did a coaching session with someone who didn't know that this was here? She didn't know where to look. This is important, okay? Finally, what if you're a federal contractor? Where do you look? So now that you're certified, you're a WOSB, or if you're Sandra, and you're a service disabled veteran-owned small business, amongst other things, where should she be looking for opportunities? SAM.gov. We have a whole video on YouTube on how to search. I'll gladly send it to you. So just so you know, based on the sector you want to play in, where you find the opportunities are different places. Is this helpful? Come off mute and say yes before we move on, if it is.
Yes, very helpful.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Good, 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 good. Okay, so let's keep going. So now let's move on. So John Nicole, how do I prepare? What do I need? I'm excited. Here's my best 5 steps, okay? And I took time this morning to give this to you before coffee, so I hope you enjoy this. Here's how you prepare for your certification. First thing I do in order. Number 1, review the docs checklist. Every single organization has before you start, here's the documentation you need. I guarantee this is going to help you out. Before you do anything, before you hit start, they have a whole section on print this. Do print it. By the way, when this conversation is over today, I'm going to go add it in our group because I have WeBank's list of documentation, and I took the time to explain what each documentation looks like and what it means. But do yourself a favor. Before you start, review the checklist, print the checklist for the certifying body. And here's a pro tip. Make a note of the support line contact. Make a note of it early. Because once you get in the thick of it and you get frenzied and you're like, oh my God, I got stuck or I don't know this, right? Do it up front. That's my first tip. The second tip is gather and compile your docs, both in a local desktop folder, also a Google Drive, and then also email. Dawn Nicole, why you got me doing all this? Let me explain. It's going to help you. Why are you doing it on a local desktop folder? Why are you doing it on a local desktop folder? Because that's where you work. Where you work and where you store things are two different things, ladies. Now, somebody, I'm not going to say her name, she prefers Google Docs, right? But more than likely, a lot of the data that she already needs is already on her desktop. So it's much easier to just move things over in your desktop folder. So I would say for your working folder for this purpose, start with a desktop folder. And then after you have everything, move it to Google, right, to store it and save it. And then also have it in your email. Now, why am I telling you to have it in your email? I can't tell you how many times I was out in public networking and the company, the organization hit me back and said, hey, we need this real fast. And I was like, oh my God, right? Luckily, I saved it in I had an email folder. I said, here you go, right? Here's my 1099s. Here's my proof of, right? Make it easy for yourself. The goal is to finish. You got to set yourself up for success. Number 3, make notes of any gaps of missing documentation and start the inquiry process immediately. That means when you look at your documentation list, ladies, if there's something missing, handle that first. Why am I telling you that? That's going to take you the time. Here's the best practice. When you're doing these applications, you should be giving yourselves 10 days to gather, 20 days to submit. You won't even, so this is how you get to a 30-day cycle. 10 days for gathering. And you need to act like life depends on it. Like, watch out, I'm in gather season. I'm in gather mode. If you don't give yourself this type of goal, you will allow and enable yourself to prolong and delay, and your certification will not get done. Don't do that to yourself. Give yourself a time box. Tell yourself, when I start this, 10 days for gather mode and 20 days for submit mode, and I'm hot as fire if I could finish it before. But do give yourself that goal. Any questions on this before we move on? Questions, comments? Does this make sense? Kim?
This is awesome.
No, I was just going to say this is really good info. Really, really good.
Thank you. I just love y'all today. I love y'all every day, but yeah, thank you. Any questions, Taja or Keisha Pfeiffer in the chat?